Hello everybody and welcome to Total Spectrum Gaming's Armored Warfare Vehicle Class Guide. I will be your host Drizental on this journey through the basics of the different vehicle classes in Armored Warfare. In this video, we're going to cover the different classes' advantages and weaknesses, different playstyles, a few tips and tricks, all of which I've recently Googled or have been trying to master the past few weeks, unsuccessfully. I am by no means a professional at this game or genre, so if I'm stating my opinion, it's just that. And I strongly urge you to try out and form your own opinion on anything that I cover.
Identify. Hostile tank. Penetrating. Hostile tank.
Start things off with the scout truck. For this demonstration, we'll be covering the XM800T. Scouts have high mobility, great accuracy on the move, and the best spotting distance, but suffer from low armor. The Scout's class ability is Designate Target. Designating an enemy in your line of sight will make their camo rating plummet, making it hard for them to hide, and any friendly strikes on that target deal extra damage. This leaves us with two distinct playstyles, in my opinion. If you enjoy high-speed, in-your-face gameplay, oh my gosh, the XM800T is a treat. Study the map closely as you take a gamble and hit the ground running. Hoping to pick the lane of the map the enemy has ignored this matchup. Sneak through their defense and flank them. If you're lucky, you've just bagged yourself both enemy arties, spotted tons of enemy vehicles, and maybe didn't die horribly right afterwards. On the flip side, Scouts' high spotting distance make them great for finding a bush, a high point, base side of map, and just hanging out and spotting enemies for teammates. Each time you get an enemy spotted pop up, damage done to that enemy by friendlies will help your score. But be careful, enemy scouts are waiting for you to fire your cannon. Anytime you fire, your camo rating drops, and the view at which enemies can spot you goes up. You're given the choice between being patient, hopefully scoring a lot, getting all those spotting assists, or take some shots and relocate often. Overall, it's a very newbie-friendly class since you're not required to win direct conflict, and can be a great asset to your team by just sitting back in the right bush.
Identify. Hostile tank. Multiple systems down. Target hit. Identify target. Hostile tank. No pen. Loader, HE. Hostile truck, marked. Loader, HE. Penetrated. Load Sabo. Loader, Sabo. Target hit.
Moving right along, we have the tank destroyers. Do you like sitting back in the right bush but want everything you see to die horribly? You've come to the right class. Tank destroyers are also fast, low armored, but they pack a punch. With an increased camo rating, yay bushes, and high power, high accuracy cannons, tank destroyers are Armored Warfare's snipers. Tank destroyers, or TDs, have an active ability that, while on, will allow almost stealth shots. Remember that scout truck that couldn't fire his gun because he would probably be seen by everybody everywhere? TDs can turn on their ability to squeeze off a few rounds with a lower camo penalty. This works great if you know you can finish off an enemy but have a strong feeling they're closing in on your position. There really is only one true way to play this class, and that's sitting back and sniping. You have mobility, but that's to get into position early or get out of position in the heat of battle. Zooming around the map with such an awesome high-powered cannon just feels like a waste. Leave that to the scout truck's BB guns.
Direct hit.
Did someone say big, big guns? Next up is the artillery. For this class I've chosen the M109. Sometimes the right bush isn't enough, or it's too far, like 20 feet over there. No matter, just stay where you are, you'll be okay. In Armored Warfare, you are not safe from arty. If there is a place on the map the arty can't hit, it's because the arty hasn't found it and hit it yet. With the arty's high explosive damage to module bonuses, smoke rounds granting points for covering teammates, and illumination rounds spotting enemies and granting early points and insight into the enemy movements, the arty has multiple avenues of success. While it can get depressing, going from a high damage, high mobility score destroyer like the LAV-300 to a hard to get killing blows M109, fret not. With the right teamwork and scout trucks helping you, a well-manned arty can strike fear into the enemy team. If you can master this class, the rest of the dominoes will fall like a house of cards. Checkmate.
Target hit. Up. Direct hit. Target hit. Hostile target marked. Identify. Net off PC. Good hit. Direct hit.
To put it lightly, here's a tank. Next up is light tanks. And I'm going with the RDF LT Premium Tier 6 tank. Light tanks have the ability to override their ECU, granting boosts of speed for 5 seconds to chase down that wounded enemy or escape over a mountain and break line of sight. Light tanks also suffer very little accuracy loss from shooting on the move, making them great for hunting down those pesky scout trucks, flanking that main battle tank, or doing laps in spawn to mess with the enemy arty. While they are more armored than scout trucks and tank destroyers, you still should never attempt to go face to face with a main battle tank. Use their mobility to your advantage. After the enemy misses a shot, pop out of cover, squeeze off a round, and return to cover before they even have time to reload. Anybody new to the game wanting to learn light tanks, I'd recommend first off, finding out where the bulk of your team is going, get an idea of the terrain and what side you'll be covered from, and support the main battle tanks up close. If an enemy light tank or scout truck tries to flank your team's heavy armor, run interception and put a stop to it. Even if this means taking a hit for a teammate, remember that 2 wounded tanks is better than 1 dead tank.
They're mobilized. Identify target.
Hostile tank.
Okay, this game is called Armored Warfare, not lightly armored battlefield, not carbon fiber playtime. Armored Warfare. So let's get to that, yeah? Main battle tanks. Armor. Big gun. Boom. For this I've chosen the Starship. M60A2 Starship. They called it that back in the 70s because it had space-age technology. We call it that now because it'll send you to the stars. It's a tier 4 packing enough heat to make the meanest of tanks wish they'd stayed AFK and spawn. It's slow, it's not as heavily armored as others in its tier. You can go play Scrabble waiting for that 14-second reload, but oh man. Battle tank. There's only one way to play main battle tank correctly. Up in front of your team. If you're piloting a main battle tank and you see half your team in front of you, you clicked the wrong class. You've got armor for a reason. Face that front armor towards the bulk of the enemy team and throw shells at them until they are dead. Special ability? Class ability? How about highest armor rating in the game? In a game about armor. It's passive. It's always there for you. No need to toggle that nonsense on, man. Don't be that guy sitting back with the TDs and the scout trucks in a bush. Get up in the nitty-gritty and show those boxes on wheels your armor doesn't wane to their whittle weapons.
Identify target. Loader, target down.
There you have it. Those are the classes. But before I end this, let's just summarize a few quick tips to keep your score high and your repair costs low. First off, know your vehicle's strengths and weaknesses. After playing for a few days, you may start to accrue many different tanks. Remember what ammo you're using and passives you've upgraded to and play to those strengths. Always position yourself so you have an escape, if possible. After a certain level of map knowledge, you'll pick up where the enemy has the highest probability of flanking you from, and can hopefully be prepared for it. Map awareness is key. Always know where your teammates are, and probably, more importantly, where your enemies are.